You know why many of y'all are living such a small life? You want to know why you keep repeating the same old thing over and over and over again. You keep wondering why you're not really getting nowhere in life. I'll tell you exactly why, right? I'll tell you a few reasons why. One, you scared to be by yourself. Yep. You're scared to be by yourself. Many of you, you're scared of the deep, dark thoughts that you're thinking. You're scared to tackle yourself. You're scared to get to know yourself. You're scared to really go deep in and figure yourself out. You're scared of who you actually are, right? And once upon a time, I used to be the same way. Once upon a time, I used to be, scared not to have music in the background. I used to be scared, not having, noise in the background. Like I always had to stay busy, right? Every single day I had to stay busy, even when it wasn't achieving anything, right? Just staying busy, just so I wouldn't have to deal with my thoughts, just so I wouldn't have to deal with myself. But one day I decided, this had to be around maybe 10 years ago, right? I'm 30 now, so around 20 years old, 21 years old, right? And this is around the same, year that I had my daughter. I really had to dive deep, man. I really had to dive deep. I really had to figure out what I wanted in life. I really had to figure out, who I was internally, right? Growing up, the world told me I had to be this way, right? I had to be that way, or this was the way to think. This was the way to breathe. This was the way to eat, right? I'm thinking that, well, a path has already been laid out for me, so this must be the path that, I have to take. Little did I know that was far from the truth. Right. And many of you, you're coming up in age, especially you young folks, and maybe even some of you middle age and older folks, you're probably just now coming into this kind of wisdom. You're probably just now coming into this kind of knowledge where you just now starting to understand yourself. You're just now starting to realize that you never had to go down the route that everybody else told you to go down. Right. And that's what terrifies a lot of people. Right. It terrifies people to think for themselves. It terrifies people to have to, breathe on their own without the ventilator. Right. A lot of y'all are not breathing on your own. Right. You're not thinking, on your own accord. You're abiding by the media. You're abiding by the people around you, the jobs that you're working. Right. The no good people that you're around. Listen, man. If people are not, on my level or higher, or even, pushing me towards the direction that I want to go, they gotta go, right? They gotta go. And I've become so ruthless with this. I don't care if it's family, right? Listen, y'all gotta understand, life is cold. Right? Life can get cold, right? It can get hectic out here. Life shows no mercy. So for you to be able to, survive the ups and downs of life, you have to become exactly how life is, right? Sometimes you got to go, with the wind, right? Sometimes you got to put life in a chokehold. Sometimes you got to choke life out. Sometimes you got to pull that bitch hair, right? And let her know who's boss, right? A lot of y'all are not willing to be cold-hearted, right? You're not willing to be just brutal and ruthless with your own life. And, that even means cutting off family members, right? People that you may love, right? Moms, dads, it doesn't matter. I don't give a flying F if it's in the way of me taking care of myself and taking care of the family that I created, then listen, it gotta go, right? A lot of y'all keep around people, y'all keep around friends that, don't mean you any good. Y'all do the same thing every day, right? Nobody's sitting around talking about no business moves. Nobody's sitting around talking about no money moves. Everybody want to talk about what's going on, the Real Housewives, Love and Hip Hop, right? What's going on, Love Island, all of that BS nonsense, the FIFA World Cup. Everybody want to talk about those things. Nobody want to actually talk about just advancing in life, right? And everything is not always about money either, right? Just advancing in just the way that you see the world, right? Just advancing in, the way that you think about the world. How do you do that if everything that y'all are talking about is literally like nothing? It's the lowest vibrational thought patterns that you can have, right? And I've had close friends growing up, right? Right? Eventually, I went my own separate way, right? And this is what I mean by, many of you are scared to be alone. I was alone for a long time, right? Still to this day, right? I have no friends like that. I mean, I talk to family members occasionally, but if they're not headed in the same direction as me, I don't really want to. And that's just me, right? Some of y'all may say it's brutal. Some of you may say, well, you need relationships, and I agree. Many people do need relationships to survive in this world, right? And I'm not saying that relationships are bad. What I'm saying is, right, the relationships that a lot of people have are counterintuitive to some of the things that they're saying. Like if you're saying that, okay, I want to be the best at this, or I want to do this, or maybe even going to school, I want to take up a degree, but the friends around you, they hanging out every night, they drinking and all of that stuff, and you're trying to study. I mean, that's counterintuitive. I built a life, I built a family, I worked my hands raw to get here, and I'm not done. This is the escape blueprint. PFP life, a way out of the grind and into control. You'll learn how I stack cash, build systems, and reclaim time so you can live on your own terms. You will watch me maneuver and grind towards the life that I achieve for myself, and you can also do the same. Join the circle, join the Patreon, learn the steps, and protect your freedom. The escape blueprint, PFP life. Listen, you have to be very, very mindful of the company you keep, because the company you keep can either take you up the ladder, or the company you keep can take you down the ladder. See, when I was in high school, right, I hung around everybody, right? I kind of had the best of both worlds, right? And that's kind of how I am today, right? I love to hang around different people. I love to see different backgrounds. I love to see different thought processes, and that trait has developed me into the person and the man that I am today. But back in high school, listen, we had the gang bangers, right? We had the weed heads, we had the nerds, right? We had the frat people, right? You had your too cool for school people. You had different people, right? And when it was time to head out from school, listen, I'll smoke a little ganja with the weed heads, and talk with the little gang bangers, and sometimes I'll be after school hanging around with the nerds, just getting an overall view on life, right? And adding it to who I am, and then using whatever I need to advance myself. Never getting too comfortable with people I know are in a bad situation, or people that I know who are up to no good, right? But many of you, instead of just accepting them as just human beings, because everybody's human beings, everybody's on their own journey in life, but instead of just accepting people for just being human beings and loving them just for being human beings, many of you'll bring them into your home. You'll start doing the same things as them. You'll start talking like them, having the same habits as them, and before you know it, listen, the goals and the aspirations that you once had, now they're null and void. Now you out every weekend, now you partying, now you getting into trouble, now you doing drugs that you was not supposed to be doing, now you smoking now, right? I've seen this time and time again. I've seen people literally, right? I've seen people literally just, fall off a cliff. Not literally, just figuratively, right? I've seen people fall off a cliff. People who were smart, people who were, straight A students, people who were headed towards a great path in life. I've seen people literally take a fall from grace. And this happens more than people like to admit, right? And this goes back to People are not willing to be alone. People are scared to be alone. People are scared to be by themselves. People are scared to just not have friends. Listen, we all can agree that there's some importance of having friends, having family, but to really keep it real, to really keep it funky with y'all, if you really want what you say you want out of life, you're gonna have to debt that, right? Just to be fair and square with you, to be honest, depending on how high up you want to go in life, a lot of those things are going to have to be deaded. Not saying that you can't talk to anybody, not saying that you can't have some friends that you call here and there, right? But you got to have somebody in your corner that truly understands the journey that you're on, right? It's not really about just cutting everybody off and, not having nobody to talk to per se, but the people that you talk to really have to understand where you are in life and where you want to be in life. Because guess what? Even if you do have people to talk to, and I've heard many stories like this, even if you do have people to talk to, right, it can still feel just as lonely as if they weren't there, because those people don't understand you. Those people don't understand what it means to make the sacrifices that you need to make to get to where you need to be. Those people don't understand why you up late nights instead of out on a Saturday night. Those people don't understand that. Right. So you got to have somebody in your corner who you can call, who, and you're like, yeah, I understand. Yep. Tell me what's going on. Maybe you should do this. Maybe you should do that. Right. Not everybody has to be on your level to be in your corner. Right. And that's something that I had to, learn myself. Everybody that is a wise, has a wise tongue, is not somebody necessarily who is just, at the peak of the ladder, at the highest of the highs. Listen, I've heard wisdom from all levels. I've heard wisdom from children. I've heard wisdom from homeless people. I've heard wisdom from people at the top of the food chain and at the bottom of the food chain, right? Wisdom comes in all shapes and forms. It's not really dictated, from how much money you have, what kind of career you're working, how advanced, you are in life. It really has nothing to do with that, right? Because I've met stupid people from the whole top down. I've met stupid people at the bottom. I've met stupid people at the top, right? So that doesn't matter. But when you really want to get somewhere in life, you got to make that sacrifice still, right? A lot of people are not willing to make that sacrifice. A lot of people are not willing to go into solitude. A lot of people are not willing to go into a chamber. A lot of people are not willing to disappear for 365 days. Just disappear for 365 days. Right? Disappear for a whole year, right? Go into a cocoon for a whole year, right? Stop doing everything that you were doing. Stop those old habits, the same friends, stop going out with them, right? And then this will also determine who's in your corner as well, right? Go and disappear, right? Go and tell them, hey, I want to, I'm kind of over this whole job ish. I want to go and I want to go to Thailand for about a few months, right? I got a little bit saved up. I just need to free my mind for a little bit, right? Go and learn some Taekwondo or something, right? Go and, eat some noodles and ramen and all kinds of stuff, shed a little bit of weight off, start exercising, go on some runs, free your mind a little bit. See how many people are left in your corner when you come back. Right? Or you say, you know what, this is the year that I get in shape. I want to shave some of this fat off, right? Or this is where I want to start this business this year, but it's going to require me to put in a whole bunch of time. I can't go out no more. I can't do the same things anymore. I can't hang with y'all today. I can't hang with y'all tomorrow, right? Let's see how many of those people are in your corner when you come out of that cocoon, right? For a lot of people, those same people are not in their corner anymore. Right? For a lot of people, those friend groups disappear, right? Or find you a good woman, find you a good man for the ladies, right? How many of those women who were in your corner when you were single will be in your corner now? For the fellas, how many of those guys are in your corner now versus when you find a good woman and you want to settle down, you just want to take a chill pill? How many of those guys will be in your corner? That's when you can really see, who was all for you in the first place, because a lot of y'all are probably with people or, around people who are just sabotaging you anyway. Listen, I've said this before and I'll say it again. There's many people who will know who you are before you know yourself. right? They see your potential. They see what you could become, right? But they stop you, right? They stifle your growth. They stop you from exceeding because, listen, you can't get bigger than the program, right? You can't get bigger than the program. And a lot of friends are not really your friends. They just don't want you to become bigger than the program. So they make sure you go out every night. They make sure, you got a drink in your hand. They make sure, oh, we can skip the gym. We can, you ain't got to start that business right now, man. Life too short. Life too short. You right. You're right. Life is too short. Life is too short to be sitting around drinking with you ninjas, right? Life is too short to be sitting around lollygagging with you ninjas, man, right? Life is too short to not just go above and beyond, right? And, a lot of times, yeah, it's going to take, you're going to be fearful. There's going to be a lot of things that you go through. There's going to be some doubts that you may have, all of that. You're going to feel all of that. Trust me. Yes, I get it. However, what's going to separate you from everybody else, what's going to separate you from the people who execute and the people that don't is literally the execution, regardless of what you're feeling at that time. Right? Regardless of what you feel. And I've done a lot of things that I'm just like, man, I don't think I should do this, but then I jump anyway. Right? I jump anyway. And that is literally what has separated me from the rest. Right? Not giving a damn. Sometimes you just got to not give a damn what nobody is saying. As long as you're doing the proper research and, preparing properly, as long as you're doing that and you're setting yourself up good, from just at the very beginning, just a baseline, you'll be fine. Right? Literally. Many of the times that I've taken a leap, I've landed just fine. Sometimes I landed a little raggedy. I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes I may have twisted my ankle a little bit when I jump. Right? Sometimes I came out with a sprained ankle, but overall I came out A-okay, learned what I needed to learn, and ready for the next jump. Right? But it took me going into that deep, dark place. It took me, pushing away people, right, who are not on the same path as me. That's what it took. It took me going deep into my mind, deep into my soul, right, and digging deep and dealing with thoughts and, just characteristics or, unfavorable habits. It took me going through all of that and seeing that and dealing with that for me to even get to this point. And there's still more levels to go. There's still more things that I got to deal with. You can go deeper, right? I can go even deeper than I've already gone just to get to the next level that I'm looking to get to. But yeah, man, this video is for the people who want to get somewhere in life. This is for the people, you may have been feeling this, you may have been thinking this, and then this video just popped up and, now it solidified what you were already thinking. It solidified what you were already about to do in the first place. So I'm glad to be that solidification. But yeah, anyway, listen, the PFP, man. Purpose, freedom, and power. The after pill is the ideology. The escape blueprint is the framework. And PFP life is how you should live. In purpose, in freedom, and in power. Hit that Patreon down below. Hit the link down below. Come over and join the inner circle. If you want more wisdom, more knowledge like this, you want to join the high intensity group full of like-minded individuals, come and join. We will be having our first networking event in Cartagena, Colombia at the end of the year, going into the new year. So we will be celebrating New Year's out there. So come and join, come and chit chat with us, right? And come and learn something most importantly. And I can help you and guide you into the direction that you need to go into. I have hundreds and hundreds of videos on a Patreon leading exactly up to this point where I am now. And I'll show you guys a little where I'm at right now. Right now I'm inside the gym, just looking at this view while I'm up here sweating like a Hebrew slave. But anyway, man, come and join the Patreon. Come and join the inner circle. And I'll see you guys on the Patreon, and I'll see you guys on the next video. I built a life. I built a family. I worked my hands raw to get here, and I'm not done. This is the escape blueprint, PFP life, a way out of the grind and into control. You'll learn how I stack cash, build systems, and reclaim time so you can live on your own terms. You will watch me maneuver and grind towards the life that I achieve for myself, and you can also do the same. Join the circle, join the Patreon, learn the steps, and protect your freedom, the escape blueprint, PFP life.